It's late May. I'm out hiking on the trails of 7 Mile Creek Park, Blue Earth County, Minnesota. So it's somewhere between Mankato and St. Peter. This park is an absolute gem. It's got, I think, something like 11 loops of trails. And this happens to be the Ray Thorn loop number 10. And it's called the Prairie Loop, I think, but that's kind of a misnomer because it's also got a gigantic hill. So this is where I come to prepare for my boundary water hikes. The terrain is pretty challenging. The trail takes you up and down the sides of a ravine that, of course, go along 7 Mile Creek. Alright, it didn't kill me. Oofed. All of the creek crossings have a bridge. Though on the far reaches of our trail, there is one spot where you have to do a water crossing. You can see there's some rocks there though, so it shouldn't be too bad. Oh, no problem on the water crossing. The water's actually not cold. I've done it in early May before and that was cold. This is a multi-use trail, so you got walking, running, bikes, and horses. But the horses aren't allowed to use the bridge though. They have to go down a small trail down to the stream and make a stream crossing. Here's another one of those giant hills. So that's why I like this trail. It does provide a challenge. I mean, it's mostly flat, but there are a couple of really big, challenging, steep hills. And on this hill, just when you think you've reached the top, it goes around a bend and then it just keeps going up. This is Trail 9B, I think, and it includes a very, very steep ravine. Again, I don't think the camera's going to do it justice, but this thing just goes down and down and down, and there's a little creek at the bottom, and then it goes up and up and up. There's a huge amount of work that goes into maintaining the trails in this park, especially in a wet spring. You can count on sections of the trail getting washed away, and there's little feeder creeks all over the place. So it's kind of amazing to me actually how quickly they bring in gravel, refill parts of the trail, replace culverts. It's really amazing. The scenic overlook isn't very scenic once the leaves come on, but if you get here early enough in the year, it's actually a pretty nice view. And again in the fall, when the leaves turn color, it's pretty nice. What is interesting is I've been coming out here for, I think, about 10 years now. So this bench, there used to be quite a bit of land in front of here. In fact, I think there was even another bench farther up. But each year this cliff gives way a little bit more, a couple more feet, especially in a rainy year when there's a wet spring. You'll lose a couple more feet. So you can see there where this year's landslide has occurred. It's pretty steep, so I bet it's not done yet either. But something interesting that happens over time if you keep coming to a place year after year. Nothing ever stays the same. I always take a moment to pause here and just reflect for a few seconds. This is a memorial to Mike Struck, And as I understand it, in 2011 there was floodwaters coming down the 7 Mile Creek, and then on the other side of Highway 169 here is the Minnesota River. So the culverts had become plugged with debris and needed to be cleared so that the highway wouldn't be breached and damage wouldn't occur. So the Minnesota Department of Transportation sent Mike and a team out here, and Mike was operating a backhoe, clearing debris out of the way of the culverts, either the one to my left or the one on the other side of this cross. And at some point, he and the backhoe were sucked into the water, and he was dragged all the way through the culvert to the other side of the highway. So they put this marker here as a tribute to Mike Struck. From what I've read, he was a volunteer firefighter with the Cleveland, Minnesota Fire Department and a first responder. At the time of his death in 2011, there were other people who were alive because of his work. So a tip of the hat to Mike Struck for a life well lived. And seeing this giant cross here, I see that's an indication that he is in glory with God now. I'm not a big fan of walking through the culvert. You never know what you're stepping in. So there you have it, 7 Mile Creek Park in between Mankato and St. Peter. There's signboards everywhere, so just pick out a trail that meets the level of exercise you're looking for. Otherwise, it's a great place to come and cook out or hang out by the stream.